Hello and welcome everyone. This is Deborah at Cottage to Courtyard, where I will show you how to make your world beautiful and the place that you can't wait to get home to at the end of the day, and always budget friendly. Thank you so much for joining me today for episode 2 of my Autumn 2022 series. Okay, my friends, in today's Decorate With Me episode, we will be styling my fireplace mantle step by step in a very earthy, rustic, and garden-themed style with just a touch of whimsy. And all of this was inspired by a darling vintage 1940s children's book by Robert Louis Stevenson that I picked up last week at the Antique Gallery. I absolutely fell in love with the cover, and the illustrations inside are just amazing. It has the perfect subject matter and color palette on the cover for my decor, even with a touch of blue. Isn't it funny at the things that we're attracted to and inspired by? And that's the fun and beauty of decorating, isn't it? Okay, so now let's take a look at my mantle. The first thing I did was take everything off the mantle shelf, then place the center focal point, which is a faux window frame that I purchased last year at Hobby Lobby for 50% off. And to save time, I wrapped the honeysuckle vine around the window frame in an asymmetrical and messy fashion so that it would look as though it had been growing there for years. And then I added some greenery and pumpkin vines with a green bow for a left side anchor. And I also wanted to let you know that I purchased the honeysuckle vine for $2.99 at a thrift store last year, and all I did was soak it in water for a few hours to soften the vines to make them pliable enough to wrap around the window frame. And you know, guys, you could do the very same thing with a grapevine wreath. If you happen to have one at home or find one at a thrift store, you can soak it in water, pull it apart, and it's very easy to do. It's a little messy, but it's well worth it. The next item we'll be adding is this wreath that you have all seen me use many times in my decor. And I also zip tied a grapevine wreath to the back of it to give it more bulk, texture, and interest, and you'll see why in a moment. And here I've placed it on the bottom right of the window frame to balance out the visual weight of my asymmetrical design. Before going any further, I want to show you all this sage green window valance that I found at Goodwill for $1.99, but I'm not going to use it for a valance. It will be used as a mantle scarf. I love the color in the fringe, plus it adds just a little touch of elegance to the vignette, which you'll see in a moment. Remember that sweet children's book I showed you all earlier? Well, here's what I did with it. It's an unexpected and great way to implement it into the vignette, plus it creates color balance with what I have going on the top left of the window frame. Next up, we'll be adding our anchor pieces to the left and right sides of the mantle. This large antique corbel that I've had for years will be going on the right side, which you'll see in a moment. Then this terracotta pot with the ivy will be going on the left side of the mantle, but first we'll be adding a few things to give it a whimsical look and make it come alive with fun and color. And all I did was add a couple of faux twigs, an antler pick, a pumpkin, and of course that darling autumn fairy that I purchased at Goodwill recently for $2.99. Okay friends, here are the two anchor pieces in place, the ivy pot on the left and the corbel on the right, which gives this asymmetrical vignette a sense of balance and symmetry, if you will. And now we're going to add in some greenery, some foliage and pumpkins, and a few other well-chosen things for even more interest. And we'll see how they look in just a moment. Okay, everyone, these are the last things we'll be adding to give the mantle a vintage fall harvest in the garden look and feel. And you all had to know I'd be using my sweet moss green hen in there somewhere, right? Here's the completed look, and I'm very pleased with it. My goal was to have it look as though the children were having fun raking leaves in the garden while Mother Hen watches over them and the autumn fairy delights in their playfulness. So do you all think I achieved it? Let's go in for a closer look so you can see the details better. All right, my friends, as I close out this video, I just want to take the time to say thank you all so very much for spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed it and drew inspiration for creating a beautiful vignette in your home. I'll be back next week for more decorating here in my Autumn 2022 series, and I hope you'll come back to see what I'm doing. You all take care and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye, my lovelies.